Okay guys, this thing is downright awesome. It's a 1967 Mustang. It is probably one of the nicest ones that we've ever had. That's not an exaggeration. This thing has undergone an extensive restoration. Every nut and bolt on this car was either replaced or restored. As through all of our videos, or as the same as all of our videos, we're going to give you the whole tour of the car. We're going to go ahead and give you the showroom tour. That's exterior, interior. We're going to take it probably around the block here and show you how good this thing drives. And I'm not exaggerating by saying this thing is, it's hard for me to believe if even from the factory they drove this as good as this one does. And then of course we're going to throw it on the hoist and we're going to let you see exactly how clean the underside of this car is, and it's phenomenal. And we're also going to give you all the details about the 390 under the hood. So let's listen to it fire up. Okay guys, the front of this thing is absolutely immaculate. As you can see, it's a brand new fresh paint job on this car. I don't know what the color technically is called, what Ford called this shade of maroon back from the factory, but they've recreated it very well. I'm assuming back then it was actually just a single stage. Now, of course, they recreate it in base clear coat. And they did an excellent job painting this car. Of course, everything was taken off of it in order to paint the thing. All the trim came off, all the emblems came off. There was no tape jobs done on this. This was a correct restoration type paint job on this car, and they did an amazing job. I mean, you can see all the immaculate details of everything we have on the wall. You can see that in the paint, and I was just thinking to myself, just when I was up on the hood there, you could see every step of that antenna, you know, the extendable antenna. You could see that from this side of the car. You can even, it's plain as day. I mean, the doors on this thing, look at the door jambs on this. You don't see them restored this nice. And you look at fully functional interior lights. The column on this thing, the center console on these generally are pretty whopped out, and that door closes very, very well. You know, look at the body lines on it, for example. I mean, I don't know that they make reproduction fenders that straight. It would surprise me to see that any of that stuff is reproduction. Of course, you know, all of this right here, all the quarter paint, all that is beautiful. I mean, all the drop downs and stuff like that. You're going to see when we get out underneath the car that all that stuff is completely and totally just immaculate. You do not see them this nice. Coming around the back of it, deck lid gap is in pretty good shape, you know, and we're going to open that trunk here in just a second for you and get you a peek inside of there. This side of the car looks every bit as good as the driver's side. I mean, you just, like I said, you really just do not see them this nice. Inside here as well, both interior lights work with the doors open. Door gaps still really good shape on these. Nothing more that I hate to see that this beautiful body line here is always off because the door's crooked, and you can see here that they've done a good job of lining them up. Very nice car, and like I said, it's one of the nicest Mustangs, especially of this year, that we've ever really had here. Let's check out interior and trunk, and then we'll get it out back. Okay guys, as you saw me open the door just a second ago, it opens and closes very, very nicely. You can see here that it's like the door buttons and all that stuff. They even replaced all of this stuff. It all is fully functional in the thing. Parking brake here. You know, it is an automatic car, and something else I'd like to point out is these columns, very often it seems like even in the really nice ones, these columns are just beat to heck. You know, you don't really find them in this good a shape. I'm not certain if they're reproducing these. I don't think they are, but this one is obviously in excellent shape. Get the little roll-up thing, and all the fins and stuff like that aren't all hammered like they normally are. Let's see here, anything else I want to point out on this car? Fully functional horn. I mean, it doesn't get much nicer than this. It does have the original type Philco AM radio in it. And outside of that, you know, heat controls here. The dash is in beautiful shape. The dash pad is in beautiful shape. Carpet is, of course, brand new. Upholstery, it is in strikingly good shape. I think that they used a little bit higher quality leather with these, and I don't know if there's a couple different packages that you can get, or maybe they had someone actually make these as opposed to just the cheap ones. It just seems to me like these have a little bit more depth to the color than most of them do, which implies to me it might be a slightly higher quality material. You also see here, I mean, our remote mirror, that's fully functional. It's not like this internal piece here, as you see that broken a lot of the time, and it's not. I mean, the windows on this thing, manual windows. Fitment's in good shape, you know. Still a little bit stiff because they are new, but I digress. It's in pretty good shape though, guys. You can see that our door gaps on this thing in good shape. They actually reattached the VIN tag, where they might have just taped the VIN tag on it. I'm not certain. It looks like they just taped it. Underside of the door, nothing feels alarming at all. It feels like it's in excellent shape. You don't see big chunks of God knows what coming off the door here onto the ground as I'm doing that. It feels silky smooth underneath. Let's check out the passenger side. Okay guys, this side is every bit as nice as the driver's side. As you can see, carpet, once again, brand new. Dashboard looks beautiful over here as well. You get another view of the console here. I mean, really nice car. Upholstery on this side is beautiful. Flip the seat forward and you get a good idea what the back seat looks like. Of course, all been reupholstered on this thing. Extremely nice car, and of course that is the fold down seat that you often see in these. Closing the door here, we'll take a look at the trunk and just look at that. The door closes, you know, you don't got to slam them, you don't got to, you know, whoop on them, or, you know, you got to give it the lift or whatever it may be. All the door hinges, all the latches and the hinges is all lined up properly, closes easy just as they should. Let's check out the trunk. Okay guys, the trunk on this thing, obviously it has a brand new mat in it, but the real beauty is underneath the mat, as I like to point out on all of these cars. You look at the kind of shape that everything is in under here. You can see that it's got a brand new gas tank in it. All the wiring on this thing, I mean, it all looks to be pretty factory correct on it. You know, everything looks to be possibly even original. I would even venture to say, looks like the wiring in the back here actually looks to be original to the car. Back of this closeout panel here looks like it's probably been taken apart, painted, and then of course upholstered after it's been painted. And all the paint inside of here obviously looks good. They got the spray gun down in here and made sure to do all that. Outside of that, I'd like to point out that the deck lid's got brand new. I'll put this carpet down, or the mat back in here in just a second. You can see here that the weather stripping, I'm losing the word here, is all, of course, been replaced on this thing. The spring has been replaced. You know what I mean? Of course, you see that you actually have steel nuts and bolts here as opposed to you know, just some painted over anything. So it means the deck lid came off. They made sure to take everything apart, and this deck lid got painted completely bare and then reassembled with the rest of the car. To me, that's the way a paint job should be done, and that is the way that this one was done. They even went down to even use like the correct for the filler neck. They even used the correct clamps there as well. So I'd like to say that this car, it's whoever restored it, I tip my hat to them. They did a very good job with this one, and they were obviously enthusiasts, or if not car masters at all, you know, end all be all. Closes very easily. There's no issues with that. You know, I mean, the hinges feel nice and tight on it. Beautiful back end of this car. Gas cap here. I like the GT gas cap as well. I don't know if I can figure out how to open it. Oh. I guess we're going to take it out back. We're going to fire it up.
All right, let's go for a ride in our 390 Mustang. What a sweet ride. Man, if this doesn't bring me back to high school and all those memories of my car, my 67 Cougar, I'm in a little old 289 in it. I'd have gotten in a lot of trouble with a 390 under the hood and S code. This thing is sweet. I love this car, man. She is sweet. Now look down here on the dash. Look at the chrome. Look at the gauges. It looks brand spanking new. Heck, the windshield wipers are working. The horn's working. The blower motor's working. Even the AM radio's working. Just love it. And look down here at this console. Man, we got the little garage door. My sister had an XR7 Cougar. It had all this in there. Super cool here. And man, she's got some power, and she's got an awesome exhaust system on it. Sounds great. Now, Tommy would love to tell you all about this car, so give him a call at 248-974-9513. He'll tell you just how easy it is for Vanguard to park this dream in your drive anywhere in the world. And if you need financing, we've got 2 different finance companies that'll work with you on the car. Now, about 95% of our customers buy our cars sight unseen, so we don't get a lot of visitors, but boy, do we love visitors. We would love to have you come in and check out this car or one of the other 205 cars we've got in stock. And don't forget, we bring in about 40 new ones every month, so you got to keep a close eye on us. You never know what we'll bring in tomorrow. And I tell you what, these S-Code Mustangs, they go fast. Guys are scooping these babies up, especially these fastbacks like this beautiful ride. Now, we're right outside the Motor City. We're real close to Ann Arbor. We're in only 20 minutes from the airport. So if you'd like to fly out, come on out, check this thing out. Just let us know that you're coming, because if you need a ride from the airport, just give us a call. We can come down to the airport and pick you up. If you want to send out an inspector, that's fine. Just let us know he's coming. Here's our shop at 15100 Keel Street, Plymouth, Michigan. So stick around, because we're going to put this beauty up on the rack so you can see just how beautiful the underside is. And then, of course, we're going to pop the hood and take a look at that 390 under the hood that's making all that music coming out of those tailpipes.
All right, guys, this is the underside of this Mustang. This thing speaks for itself. I could basically walk past, give you guys a pass over of this car, and I wouldn't have to say anything, and you guys would understand exactly what this thing is. It is 100%. This guy didn't stop anywhere. Every detail, every nut, every bolt. This thing is very impressive, and I mean, even from my car guy's perspective, multitude of mechanics have been walking underneath it as, you know, we were getting ready to do this, you know, getting all the information on it, and everyone that walked underneath it stopped, looked up, and went, damn, and then they moved on. This car is extremely nice, and I guess we'll just try to kind of get going with it. This thing is, as you can see, it's got a brand new gas tank in it, no big surprise there. All the fuel lines, all that stuff is like the pre-Brent, nice made stuff, and I would like to point out that this thing does have the primer bottoms, or the primer, the floors and all that stuff. That would be typical of like a factory type restoration, and they did an excellent job with it. It's absolutely beautiful. It has all the factory clips, brand new exhaust, brand new leaf springs, obviously, the flex hose, all of your brake lines on the back, all that stuff is brand spanking new. Ford 9-inch axle. In this Ford 9-inch axle, it houses a 3:1 gear ratio. It is open, and on either side of it, we do have just the 4 drum brakes on the thing. We have had the brakes apart. We know everything is safe and properly installed. It's brand new inside there, along with everything else. Like the inside of the brakes look just as you would imagine they would, looking underneath this car. On either side of this brand new drive shaft is a set of MagnaFlow mufflers. Of course, all brand new exhaust still coming this way. Of course, the U-joint's new. That U-joint is also new. The parking brake is actually hooked up. It's actually functional. And I've been told too that this car, you know, as you can see, the fit and finish under here is extremely nice. This car doesn't squeak, it doesn't rattle. It's one of the nicest Mustangs that we've ever owned, honestly, and one of the better driving Mustangs we've ever owned. Of course, your front U-joint, of course, that's all brand new. You can see that our brake line and our gas line, all that stuff is brand spanking new. Parking brake, all that stuff, I mean, none of it, it's all was taken off the car, either replaced or restored, and then placed back on the car after the underside of the car was done being restored. This is not a rattle can restoration by any stretch of the imagination. This car is a very, very high quality car. Outside of that, of course, we got a Ford C6 here for you Ford enthusiasts. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. However, the casting number on the side of this transmission here implies to me that this very well could be the original transmission for the car. It is a 66 type transmission in a 67 Mustang, which means it's a distinct possibility that this could be the original one for the car. However, I did not see any numbers on it, which is implying to me that I can't tell you for sure that it is. Moving forward to that, we do have the 390 underneath the hood here, and I'll get to more about that thing in just a second. You can see that we do have power steering on this car. It's all hooked up. We got, of course, no surprise. before I even get to that, we do have disc brakes, brand new whip hoses. Of course, all the lines are good, and I can look at all like this front end. We actually just greased this front end. I mean, that's, you can see there's a little bit of grease on all the fittings, and we generally do that to all of our cars here. But this stuff is all brand new stuff. I mean, we got this car, it was brand spanking new, freshly restored, and the guy was probably just afraid to drive it just because it was just too nice, and he didn't want to drive it anywhere. He was afraid he was going to get a ding, or he afraid he was going to get rained on, quite frankly. I mean, it's of that kind of quality. So every component up here is new. Every single thing. Every boot is, you know, there's not a rip in a single boot here. Every bushing is at 100% life. The brake pads are at 100% life. The rear brake pads, 100% life. Everything, it's brand spanking new. This motor is completely fresh as well. It still has braking oil in it, for heaven's sakes. Wix filter on it. It's got Brad Penn actual BR braking oil too, so you know, no worries about having the right oils in it and so on and so forth. Brand new tires on this thing. Of course, you can see here, look at the front frame rails of this car. I mean, it's not like, you know, there's no, because the problem with these is there's no real good spot to jack up here in the front, so everyone sticks the jack right there, and then they bend this all to hell, and then just, you know, so on. It just, there starts the train of downhill descent, and this thing is, of course, it's in pretty good shape. You know, it might have had a jack on it at one point, but it's not by any stretch of the imagination crumpled or anything like that. The frame rails look like they're very solid, very integral. I don't feel like any big nastiness in there, like, you know, I mean, I'm not going to put my finger through it or anything like that. Fender wells, obviously it looks like the fenders were taken off the car to be painted. We got brand new sockets here, brand new springs, brand new shock. I mean, look at the detail up there, all the clips and all that stuff. There's not even dirt on any of this, like implying that it's ever really been driven in the rain. I mean, it's pretty surprising to see one of these, and I would imagine that this is what one would look like coming out of the showroom floor in 1967 or even 1966. This is pretty much what you would get. Let's take a look at wheels and tires, and then I can start talking about the 390 under the hood. All right, guys, for wheels, we do have the Magnum 500s on it. We got two 25/60 R15 BF Goodrich radial TAs on it. Brand new rim, brand new tire. The tire even has still got all like the little I guess whatever you would want to call it on, the little tits still on it. It's brand new. This tire probably doesn't have 30 miles on it. Let's go check out the rear. Okay, guys, back here, BF Goodrich, radial TA, same good looking wheel. It is a little bit bigger in the back, and it does give the car kind of a stanced look. You'll see it in our pictures. Two 55/60 R15s, and same thing, this thing, I mean, it's still got all like the little new little ends on it too. This thing, brand new tire. Let's go check out the 390. Okay, guys, for engine, we were told by the original, the people that we bought the car from, that this is the numbers matching engine for this car. Now, for you Ford guys, you know that the VIN numbers are generally stamped on the back, just below the cylinder head, on the back of the driver's side over here. I couldn't raise any numbers from that. Maybe, I know that right around 67 was the time that the government enacted that we need to start putting VIN numbers on engines. This may be an early one, I'm not really certain, but I do not see any numbers there. However, the date stamping down there, the date code on the block, lines up to be a late 66, which would put this right in the time period, and it does have a C6ME casting number on it, if I'm not mistaken, which is also implicatory of this being the correct engine, if implicatory is a word. Outside of that, stock heads on the thing. We do have an upgraded intake manifold on it. It's a Edelbrock dual plane aluminum intake manifold. And something else, a big bonus, is this carburetor actually has a Ford part number on it, and it is correct for a 1967 Mustang as well, which is also kind of giving credence to the fact that this very well could all be the original stuff. I mean, this guy went to great lengths to make sure that all of his date codes were proper and so on and so forth, to make sure that, you know, everything lined up. It's a very plausible story that this car has its original engine still in it. Outside of that, I mean, it's of no surprise to you that it's got brand new, let's see here, distributor looks like it's brand new. It does have a Petronics unit in it, and I would like to point out, look at all like the wiring harness here, something I'd like your temperature sending unit wire here. It looks brand new, which is implying to me, and I can see back there, all the wiring, and it doesn't have all that, that black corrosion that everything gets on it as time moves on, or the road tar. Everything looks like it's brand new, which is implying to me that this thing has all new wiring harnesses in it with nice, soft, supple wiring, which means that you're not going to have to deal with the cracked possible fire hazards and, you know, all that sort of stuff that these old-time cars are, you know, somewhat notorious for. This is a brand new 1967 Mustang. Outside of that, I mean, they even went to the trouble, they got the battery hold down all in there properly. We do have an upgraded modern style battery in it. However, you know, the hold down's properly all there. That looks like they bought the proper wiring harness, even like this little silly stupid stuff. You know, all this stuff kind of eventually adds up to making a more concourse correct car. It even has all the auto light stuff on it. You know, all the stampings and stuff like that. All those prices and things like that, they add up really quickly to be not only a big cost, but they also add up, you know, collectively when you keep putting them on the car, that it all of a sudden stops becoming just a nice car to like, this is almost a showpiece. And this car is a great example of that. They really made sure to make sure everything was correct, everything was right. They didn't butcher anything. Everything here is just the way it should be. You've got your Fomoco hoses. Looks to me like, you know, everything of course was replaced, no big surprise there. All the correct hose clamps, I love all these. I hate to see like the worm screw ones. This is all what should be on it. Looks to me like the water pump, all of your belts, the fan, it's all correct, a correct style, a radiator. Does have the Ford, you know, the old school Ford can style power steering pump on it. Looks like brand new wires on it, no big surprise there. Exhaust manifolds is just the stock type exhaust manifolds, and it's all looks like it. I mean, they're beautiful. Of course, it looks like they've been painted before they got put on the engine. Looking down there, I can see the trans lines are brand new. It's something I should have pointed out before. Back to the wiring again, you can see, I mean, of course, your oil pressure sending unit wire, that's brand new. I mean, if this wasn't brand new, that white wouldn't be that crisp and that clean. We got power brakes on the thing, brand new master cylinder. All the vacuum hoses look like they're brand new. Looks like a brand new PVC or PCV valve that's in the valve cover there. Valve covers are of course brand new. I could sit there and point out all the stuff that's brand new on this thing all day, and it's just gonna, you know, it's gonna get redundant eventually. I guess that's about it. This is one that you're gonna have to come in, and if you're really considering this one, I would invite you to come in, have one of us take you for a drive in it. Come and see it for yourself, because this car, me talking about it won't do it enough justice. This car is absolutely amazing. It's beautiful. Call Tom at the number below. Get your appointment in to come see this thing before it's gone, guys. I guess that's about it.